Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is Queen's Kid back again with another video. I know it's been a while, but I'm back. I'm gonna do something a little different today. I'm gonna talk about the Wii U, Nintendo's last console that was on the market not too long ago. I know a lot of people have a lot to say about the Wii U. Oh, it's the worst console ever. Nintendo really dropped the ball with that console. Yada yada yada. And or some people say, oh, it's Nintendo's best console ever. It's the reason why I got back to gaming, or it's the reason, or it's my first console. Now I'm starting to see more positive things said about the Wii U, and but you still got a lot of haters. You still got a lot of old school gamers. Who play PlayStation, Xbox, despise the Wii U, anything Nintendo, and I'm just gonna share my thoughts on the Wii U and what was my experience like. So when the Wii U came out, I was 16 years old. I was in high school, 11th grade. So by this time, by this point in your life, that's when Nintendo games, are considered uncool to most people. And this was during a time when Call of Duty was like the biggest franchise ever. Like, if you were a teenager in the early 2010s, everybody played Call of Duty. Everybody was into Call of Duty. Like, you could not avoid Call of Duty. Like, even people who didn't play video games knew about Call of Duty. Like, that's how big it was in 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13 even. Call of Duty was like the biggest thing, on school campuses. But when I heard about the Wii U, I was like, oh, go out, cool. Because at the time I didn't have a I didn't have PS3 nor 360 at all during that generation, so I thought the Wii U was. So I saw the Wii U. I was like, oh, it's a cool console. And, and I had the Wii, the OG Wii, but like the Wii, it broke on me in 2011. So I was like, I spent 2 years without a console. So when the Wii U came out, I was happy. I finally get to play another Nintendo console. I love Mario, I love Pokemon, I love Smash Brothers. So the Wii U looks like a perfect fit for me because I mostly play Nintendo games. Like I mostly play Nintendo stuff. If I play a PlayStation, Xbox, if we have like a cool platformer, like I have the PS4 right now, and they have Crash Bandicoot, which is a cool, a pretty hard game, but I still enjoy it. Games like quirky, cartoonish type of games. I'll play. I don't care what system is on. But with the Wii U, I felt like I was gonna enjoy it. I was gonna play a little more. It was a touchscreen controller, so I thought that was cool. You play anyway. You don't have to use the TV to play it, so that was awesome. So, which was really convenient. When I was in college because I only had one TV in the house I stayed in. I stayed in my mom's old apartment in New York with my older sister and my older sister, my older cousins. So like we only had one TV in the house, so like it was very convenient that I didn't need a TV at the time. That I didn't need TV, and it was just a very it was just a very great system. So um but a lot of people saying the Wii U is a bad console. I was looking up online. A lot of people saying Wii U sucked. Oh, don't buy it. It's gonna be like the Wii. Because a lot of people didn't like the Wii. A lot of the hardcore gamers didn't appreciate the Wii when it was around. Because the Wii was too casual. It was too family friendly. It focused way too much on soccer moms and grandmas and stuff like that. So that's why a lot of people my age didn't appreciate the Wii. But I thought the Wii U was gonna be a cool console. I like the touchscreen aspect, like the fact that you don't need a TV to play it. The only thing that was keeping me from buying a Wii U early on was the games. The games were pretty, it was pretty sparse. There was only like Mario Bros. U and Lego Cities on U. So like there wasn't really a lot of games, but like towards the end of 2013, I saw the library. I was like, oh shoot, the Wii U looks pretty cool. But the games, that's when 3D World came out, Pikmin was out, Lost World was out, Wonderful 101 was out. Then I said, okay, let me buy the Wii U. Of course, I didn't get those games, when I got it, but like, just the fact that I had a game library, games that I know I was gonna play and made me want to buy the Wii U. So that's when I bought the Wii U on New Year's Eve 2013. It was a great, I had it was, it was a very fun system. It was my pretty much my only system for 2 years. So I went 2 years without having a PS4, no Xbox One. So the Wii U was the console I played the most throughout the eighth generation, and it was a fun time. It was great. It was like having my own tablet. I don't need a I could watch anime on it without having a TV. If I don't feel like if I want to turn the TV off, I could just use it as a remote. So it wasn't just a great console, but it was a great tablet as well because I could just watch movies and anime, without having TV on. So that was a big plus for me. The problems with the Wii U, the problems a lot of people have with the Wii U was the fact that, well, for one, the marketing, was pretty bad. Like a lot of people didn't even know what it was at the time. So when I asked people what about the Wii U, people who didn't really play video games like that, they didn't know what it was for the most part. So that was a problem. And then, it was, and then, again, it came out of time was tablets were at its peak, back in like the early 2010s. Back in like 2012, 2015, tablets were like everybody had a tablet. Getting a tablet was like the biggest thing on a child's wish list, and the Wii U would came out a little too late. If it came out like 2009, 2010, it would have been cool, but like it came out right when iPads and Kindles and Nexus and all those tablets were already out. So that's what kind of hurt the Wii U, but I didn't really care about the stuff. I really cared the fact that it wasn't selling that well. But it still would have been nice to see the Wii U succeed, to see that the Wii U succeeded because the Wii U was getting so much hate. Like, oh my god, like every video I watch on YouTube, the Wii U was getting hate. Like every major gaming channel that you know was giving Nintendo flack for this and that and the other. Granted, Nintendo, it was Nintendo mismanaged the Wii U a lot, mismanaged the Wii U quite a bit throughout the generation. They even get a decent online. Um, the eShop, the eShop, while we had some classic games, we had some Super Nintendo games, 64 games, NES games. There wasn't really not of games, to choose from, and then most of them was like really expensive, and then no GameCube games. Like you couldn't play GameCube games on the system, even though we could play GameCube controller. We used a GameCube controller on the system, so that was that. Um, it was take too long. The delays were pretty bad because the fact that because we didn't have third party support, there wasn't a lot of games out. So like a lot of games that a lot of games that a lot of games that a lot of games I couldn't play unless I had PS4 or Xbox because of the delays, lack of third party. Like there was literally no third party. Like people say Nintendo has went through a third party problem since the 64, but like this console, the Wii U, like third party situation was really bad. Like you had no sports game, no Dragon Ball Z game, you had nothing like that. You didn't have you didn't have nothing. Like I mean, you had Call of Duty, but that was like the only third party franchise you really had on it. But even Call of Duty kind of dropped you know left the Wii U, after I think after I think um Black Ops 2, no, not Ghost, yeah, Ghost. I think after Ghost, that was when that's when Activision started, lead the Wii U. So we just had no third party support. So, but it didn't really bother me too much because I'm mostly playing Nintendo games anyway. But it'd been nice if I had like because one reason why I wanted to get the Wii U because I figured it's gonna be like the GameCube. Because GameCube, you had GameCube. I mean, it was meant to appeal to Nintendo gamers, but like even if you didn't really like Nintendo like that, you still had your Sega games. You still had games like Sonic. You had games like Super Monkey Ball. Games like Billy Hatcher. You had some wrestling games, which was another thing that I kind of wish you had like WWE games, the exclusive WWE games, like game you had WrestleMania 18, 19, Day of Reckoning and stuff like that. Xbox had the Raw and the WrestleMania 21 game, and PS2 had the SmackDown games. So like I figured it would be like the GameCube, but like it wasn't. It was if it tried to be different, but it tried to be like everyone else, but trying to have a gimmick towards it, and that's what pissed a lot of people off because people's like, you know, now you're just trying too hard, and that's why a lot of people crapped on the Wii U so hard because if they try to be a hardcore system about while trying to appeal to casual fans, which ultimately hurt the Wii U because the Wii U was kind of went through a huge identity crisis, and Nintendo just didn't know how to market it because they thought the name Wii, was going to carry it on, its success to the Wii U, but it didn't because by the time the Wii U came out, the Wii was like dead. Like the Wii haven't had, the Wii was like 2 years. I mean, it's been like It was 2 years after the Wii, had it like a major was, you know, the Wii had like a major impact. The last time we had a major impact was like 2010 when the Kinect came out. But after 2010, the Wii was just like fell flat. So when 2012 came around, when the Wii U came out, the Wii was just dead. So like so casual gamers, were already done with the Wii. They moved on to smartphones and tablets. So they didn't really see a need to buy a Wii because they didn't think that because A, they already have a console, and B, it says the name Wii. So they're not gonna spend $300 or $400 to buy their kids a console when they already got a Wii at home, which is like $100. So that right there, so the marketing, played a huge role why the Wii U didn't do so well. And again, it kind of saddens me because I know I said I was gonna focus too much on the failures of the Wii U, but you know, just being a Nintendo fan at this time was very hard. It was a tough for me. Not again, I don't really care about sales. I just care about the games, but you know a lot. But again, the GameCube did bad. The GameCube quote unquote failed, but yeah, it still satisfied me as a gamer. Like I'm not the type of person who needs a whole bunch of multiplats. But the GameCube had sports games. You had your NBA 2Ks, you had NBA Streets, you had Soul Calibur, you had Super Monkey Ball, Dead Jam, like Beautiful Joe. Like GameCube had a bunch of games you could get on PS2 and Xbox. So like you had like pretty much all the like most of the major third party games that came out during the sixth generation on the GameCube. So like you didn't really. So unless if you want to get a unless the only reason we want to get a PS2 or Xbox is for the exclusive really because GameCube you had most of the third party stuff, and it looked better on the GameCube than it did on PS2. So you know, but granted, but Wii U being that it was a weaker system, you couldn't really get all the multiplats that the PS4 or Xbox One had. You know, and even some PS3 and Xbox 360 games had a hard time running on Wii U. So it was just a hard time being a Nintendo fan, and it really kind of felt left out because again, I, comparing it to the Wii and GameCube, like I actually have friends come over and want to play and or mind playing with me on a Nintendo system. But like when the Wii U came out, it was like, I know nobody wanted to play with me. So like the Wii, the Wii U just it just felt empty. It felt barren, and like when it came to like multiplayer, it came to like online. I just felt barren. It wasn't that party console that Nintendo was known for. It wasn't like 64 or GameCube where like your friends would come over to the house and want to play. Want to play, like Smash Brothers and stuff like that. I mean, So like that's why a lot of people. So that's why the Wii U, you know, why it was a fun console, it was a failure. For me, just the fact that I grew up in the GameCube generation, like just for me, because that's someone who grew up in the GameCube generation that you know that was the last Nintendo console that was considered classic. The last classic Nintendo console, meaning that it was a Nintendo console that was simple. You knew what it was. Voila. It was simple, straight to the point. You know, you don't have to worry about a gimmick or nothing like that. It was just a controller. Hop in the controller, plug it into the port, turn on the system. No updates or nothing like that. Like that's the GameCube, and then the Wii came out. You had motion controls, and you had and Wii was still a simple console for the most part, but you had the online, you had to update your system sometimes, and then with the Wii U, it was just it was trying to catch it to the Xbox and PlayStation because the Wii was so far behind the 360 and Xbox and PS3 that the Wii U had to catch up. So with the GameCube and 64, the Nintendo was like in some ways ahead of the curve because they didn't have to focus on technology too. They had to focus on you know software. I mean the operating system. They had to focus on um, the OS. They had to focus on technology so much. They just had to focus on games. That's why the 64 and GameCube, Super Nintendo, NES was powerful. Well, minus the NES, it was all powerful for a time because they just had to focus on the games, and that's where the Wii U kind of failed in both areas. The Wii U had some good games. Wii U had Mario Kart, it had Zelda. Right at the end of the console license span, it had Sonic. It had Wonderful 101. It had Bayonetta. It had some good games, but it took so long for them to come out, and by the time it came out, just people just forgot about the system. So I don't mean to complain about the Wii U, but it was just a time when it was just a time when you just felt like Nintendo was just losing it. Nintendo was out of touch, and in some ways it's still out of touch with the Switch, but at least now you don't feel bad about being a Nintendo fan. At least now, I mean, you have a reason to like Nintendo, and the fact that you grew up with Nintendo. You say, well, Nintendo is well, at least I know I'm gonna get a Pokemon game. At least I know I'm gonna get a Mario game, stuff like that. Games that wasn't even on the Wii U. The Wii U we hated had Star Fox game, which a lot of people hated. I mean, I was never a Star Fox fan, but you know, people's going, but people are gonna forget the fact that the Wii had no Star Fox game. People are gonna forget the fact that Wii U did bring back Star Fox. So that's a pro right there. Another pro with the Wii U, as far as games concerned, is that we had we had platformers in spades. We have a whole bunch of platformers, and platformers are my favorite genre. So even though it was kind of oversaturated with 2D platformers, we had like with 2D of 2.5D platformers, it's still it was still fun. You had Yoshi Woolly World, you had Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, you had Kirby, what's that game? Rainbow Curse, I think it's called. So you had quite a bit of games to play. Um, you know, you had Mario Kart 8. You had Smash Bros. You had Bayonetta 2. So you had some classic games on the system, but you know it just again the delays were pretty frequent, and then by the time these games came out, it usually was like 6, 7, 8 months down the road. So like you have to wait a long time without nothing to play, anything to play, for those games to come out. So you know I wish the way you would have done better. I don't mean to sound too negative, but again, I wish the Wii U would have done better, but It is what it is. I'm glad Nintendo's learned from their lesson. I'm glad to say that the Switch is doing well. I don't have a Switch right now, but when I get one, I know it's gonna be great. I know it's gonna be awesome. I know I'm gonna have an awesome experience with the Switch. I'll get a Mario game, a true Mario game, a true sequel to Galaxy, because Mario 3D World on the Wii U, while it was a fun game, it just didn't feel like a 3D Mario game. It didn't feel like 64 or Sunshine or Galaxy, where the worlds were, big and expansive. The villains were, intense. The boss battle were intense. It had a storyline, and the goal was to find a star. In Mario 3D World, it was more like a Mario Brothers. Where the goal was to get the flat pole and stuff like that. So, that's so I'm hoping. So I'm glad that we get a true sequel to Mario Galaxy. And it's just like what I expected. I was hoping to be like Mario, be like in a more in that city, and a city like environment, because I was like, well, they did Mario Galaxy. One thing they didn't do with Mario series was him being like in a big open world type of city, like a New York style city. And Mario, what's again, um, Odyssey is just that. So I'm excited about that with the Switch, and I'm just glad that Nintendo's finally waking up and seeing that, seeing why the Wii U was such a mishap for so many people. Not just because not just because it's so bad, but you know a lot of Nintendo fans were just tired of I'm tired of being disappointed, and just being on this YouTube community for a couple years. I've seen that people who were just super optimistic, super positive about the Wii U, they end up hating the Wii U. They end up hating just hating Nintendo in general, because of the failures of the console. I've seen it in this community a lot. So I'm just happy that the Wii U, you know, is getting more love, getting more support from the fan base. From from gamers. I'm happy to say that I own the Wii U. I'm happy to say that I got the Wii U. It was a great experience for me. Being out of gaming for 4 or 5 years at that point, it was nice to see. It was nice to play Nintendo once again. It's nice to. It just showed me why I played video games in the first place. Why I like video games, because during that time, the only times I really played video games in high school was when the new Pokemon came out. But and the Wii U I had. So, but because I already played Nintendo handhelds like that, not how like how not how I used to do, not how I used to play them. And I'm starving. But like I don't play Nintendo handhelds like I used to when I was younger. I used to play mad games like GBA and DS, but once I got in middle school, all I was playing was Pokemon, and that was it. So with the Wii U, I have it caused me to it made me expand my horizon. I got into Zelda. I got I was into Bayonetta. I got into franchise that I would never would have got into had it not been for the sparse library the Wii U had. So that's a positive as well, and a negative. But at least I could say I tried playing other things, because with the Wii, all I played was Mario, Smash Brothers, and Pokemon, and Wii Sports. Like I don't really play much. I only play like 5 games on the Wii throughout that whole generation. So like at least with the Wii U, I could say I played at least like a good 10 games on that system, in a span of 4 years, in a span of 2 years, because I had the Wii U in 13, and you know in late 2013 I stopped playing around mid 2016. So in a span of 2.5 years, I played at least 7, 8 games on that system. So that's a positive right there. Um, the fact that I don't need a TV to play it, that's another positive. Um, you know, Smash Brothers, one of the best of the series, definitely. it was just a fun time being. It was just a fun time for me to be a fan. Um, I mean, if the Wii U had a Pokemon game, I would have been really happy. If it had like an XD, Gyarados, or a Coliseum, that would have been that would have been cool because I love Pokemon. That's my favorite franchise. I wish they had a true proper you know s- you know um spin off game like a stadium or a Coliseum, stuff like that, because the GameCube, I know a lot of people didn't play XD or Coliseum, but those games were pretty fun. I mean, it's still true to the turn-based style, it's still true to the turn-based formula, but it had different you know it had different mission. Instead of just catching Pokemon while you catching the other trainers Pokemon that were Shadow Pokemon, and I missed that. Those are two games I played the most, throughout that generation. So I kind of wish they brought that back. But the Wii U was a good console. I mean, yeah, it has flaws. Yeah, it was underpowered. Yeah, the control was pretty big and clunky. But I enjoyed the Wii U for what it was. I'm glad that Alex Day, I got back into gaming because of Wii U. I'm glad to say that I was there, the good days and the bad days, that shows that, that I'm a loyal fan of Nintendo because I was able to stick with Nintendo when everybody was crapping on Nintendo for having an underperforming console, for being a weak console, for being, less cool, less appeal on the the PlayStation, the Xbox. I was there when people told me I was weird you know, or childish for playing a Wii U over the PS4, Xbox One. So I'm just happy to say that I enjoyed Nintendo Wii U and I played it. In spite of what other people are saying about the console, in spite of what you know my peers were saying, and I just enjoyed what it was. So, but that being said, this is Mario here, Queen's Kid here. Sorry, I just said Mario. Queen's Kid here. Sign out. Peace.